Hi ladies, I am Renee Pugh, Executive Director from Pennsylvania, and I wanted to come today and share a couple of my tips with you on how to book parties from Facebook parties. So for the past at least 2 years, if not a little bit more, my business has been primarily online, and 95% of what I do happens through Facebook parties. So Facebook parties, as we all know, have been a little bit frustrating lately. The algorithms on Facebook have changed quite drastically in the past few months, which has caused a lot of frustration. So I wanted to share a few tips with you of how I have been able to be successful through all of that. So the very first thing that I do is when someone books a party with me is I encourage my hostess to create a guest list, just like it would be a home party. So sit down and think of her Franks. Think of all her friends, her relatives, and I give this exact verbiage to her. Think of your friends, your relatives, acquaintances, your neighbors, your kid connections, and your spouse connections, if that's applicable to you. And write down about 40 names of people that you think may be interested in 31. Don't just think of people that are gonna say, yes, I wanna attend your party, but maybe they've never even seen 31 and they might be intrigued by the close to home line or something like that. And so after she has her list, I ask her to then message each of those people personally and invite them to the party. I do not like to be invited to parties that have 400 people added to it because I just feel like a number. And so it's super important for the hostess to make her guest feel special and exclusive as one of her friends invited to her party. So I give her the words to say. It's something very simple like, hi Amy, I am super excited to be hosting a 31 party next week. I don't know if you saw or not, but the specials this month are for helping you get organized in the new year. And I thought of you because you have 4 kids and you may be able to use some of these great discounted items. Would you like an invite to my party? And then when she sends these messages, obviously she will get some yeses and some nos, and that is perfectly fine. But the ones that say yes, I then send her another message to reply with, and it just says something simply like, yay, I'm so glad you want to join me for my party. It's going to be happening next week, but my consultant Renee is going to be doing a fun 1-hour party on, let's just say a date, January the 28th at 9 p.m. I would love for you to go ahead and join the group a while. She's going to post some fun things as we get ready to party that night. And then insert the link to the Facebook group. This is a super important step to get around the whole Facebook algorithms things, and I'll explain that in a minute. So the guest is then going to join the Facebook party and not the hostess add her. Okay, so then I know as the consultant when my hostess is doing her job because I am starting to see people request to join the group as opposed to the hostess going through and just mass adding her friends, because I don't know at that point if she's just adding them or if she's actually asked them if they want to be in attendance to her party. So that's a super important step. When a guest is added to Facebook groups when a guest is added to Facebook groups rather than requesting to join, Facebook actually will hide stuff from them if they do not accept an invite. So this is how I've gotten around that, and when my guests request to join the group, they actually will see what I'm posting and they will not have the post hidden from them. So it's really important. Now Sean asked me to share a little bit about how I do Facebook parties, and I will say I change it up all the time because I like to be creative in that way. And when I'm partying with multiple groups of people and sometimes over and over again, I don't want it to become the same old thing. So what I'm doing right now is a 1-hour, one-night party that I just ask the hostess for a time and a date that suits her the best. And then for that hour, I post about 8 times, and they're about 5 minutes apart. And then I also do 2 live videos. And this is really important because I have been in attendance to parties before where the consultant has everything scheduled and I can see that because I know what that looks like now that I'm a consultant, but she's not even there to answer questions. People ask questions and there's no response from the consultant. So I want them to know that I am invested 131%. I am there to help them to find a good product for themselves. And when I go live, it shows them I am actually right there. I'm not just a robot posting. I'm there to interact with them. And I also showcase our customer specials for the month and a few of my favorite things in my 2 videos so that I can highlight those products that are my passion products. So then for the next 4 days after that 1-night, 1-hour party, I continue posting, but not nearly as much. I do maybe 1 to 2 posts a day, just highlighting the customer specials, highlighting some of my favorites. I share bundles with them, and just some simple reminders like if you want to host a party, or if you want to join my team, or if you want to make a purchase, just reminders to do that. Throughout that time frame, but especially in that 1 hour that I do my party, This is really where it's important for me to build relationships with those customers to book those parties. I very rarely have somebody comment on my post and say, hey Renee, I want to book a party, pick me. Like, that doesn't happen, right? Just like our customer groups. But I have to be intentional about reaching out and making those relationships with somebody. So if somebody comments on my post about organizing their home and says, oh man, I love those stand tall bins, but I have 4 kids, like, there's no way I can afford to buy those. That is a great opportunity for me to then comment to her comment and say, like, hey Gina, I'm gonna reach out to you with a message. Look for that, because if I'm not Facebook friends with her, again, Facebook is gonna hide that. So I need to let her know, make sure you're looking for that message from me. In that message then, I'm gonna say, I saw your comment, you would love 4 stand tall bins for your family, but it's really out of your budget price point. Would you ever consider doing a party like your hostess did? I can set you up for those for free with an X amount of dollar party. Or you can even say 2 for free and 2 for half price, you know, whatever you wanna do. But it's just offering the opportunity, and they may not even realize that they can get those for free with the party, and it's your job to offer that to them. So I really book my parties just through being intentional about building those relationships throughout my party and not just waiting for somebody to comment and say they want to book a party. The other thing, of course, is always follow-up. We always say fortunes in the follow-up, so once they get their order and they're in love with it, make sure you're following up with them to ask, hey, now that you got your first stand tall bin, let's go get you those other 3 with your party. The other thing I wanted to share, and this is a little bit maybe of a creative idea, and don't be overwhelmed by it, but when we do home parties, we do a door prize slip, right? So we all hand out those door prize slips from business supplies, or maybe you make your own, and people enter their name, their email, their phone number, and check some boxes on their interest in hosting a party and joining your team, all that fun stuff. When you party on Facebook, you can't do that. So a few years ago, I made an electronic door prize slip by using Google Forms, or you could use SurveyMonkey or any kind of survey, websites that you have available. And you do the same thing. You put in the survey questions. What's your name? What's your email address? That's really important to get them in your contacts list. What's your phone number? And then what is the best way for me to contact you? Is it through Facebook message? Is it through text? Is it through phone call? Is it through email? Because everybody communicates differently nowadays. So make sure that you find out how she wants to be communicated with. And then you can plug the customer specials, because maybe she missed that post. You can also ask about hosting a party and just say, I would love to hook you up with free products and half price items like your hostess is getting this week. Would you like to, host a party, and do it in a creative way? That's just a simple breakdown. But then what I do is I don't just say, yes, I want to host a party or things like that. I actually say, I want to host a party in January. I want to organize my home for the new year. I want to host a party in February. I'm super excited about the $10 utility tote special. I want to host a party in March. I want to be the very first hostess to host with you in spring. I want to host in April, and adding fun things at the end of each of those posts to help her think about, oh yeah, May would be a great time to host a party because it's right before my kids get out of school and I want to party with my girlfriends before everyone has kid chaos over the summer. And then my last one is always, no thank you, Renee, I'm super happy to support you in your business, because I don't want to say, no, I don't want to host a party. I just want her to be like, I still want to support you, but I want to do it in a way that it's not like a hard no. You know what I'm saying? So I also then add a couple questions, like I add my Hostess of the Month club in there. So if you have a club, this is a place to plug that. I have a question about joining my team and the opportunity that they can have to join 31 as a consultant. And then I also have a link to my customer group in case they have not joined my customer group. And I say, are you in Totes by Renee? And if you're not, here's the link to join. And then I just thank them at the end. So that form, I pull a prize from every single party from the ladies that fill it out. So there again, it drives them to want to fill it out because everybody loves free stuff. And then I have lots of people to follow up with. So right now, I don't have a ton of people that have said, yes, I want to have a party in February, but what I do have is last fall, I had inserted a question that said about booking a party, and that one of the options to select was, no thank you, Renee, I don't want a party in the fall, but please check with me when the spring catalog comes out. So now I have a bunch of people that didn't want to party with me in the fall, but they said check with me in the spring. So I can now follow up with them, and I have an excuse because I say, you filled out my giveaway form, I'm following up with you because you wanted to book a party in the spring. Is March best for you, or is April the best? And so it just gives you an endless amount of contacts. And I also post this in my customer group every single month because I want them to get in the fun with me as well. I let them fill it out once a month, and then they can have an opportunity to win as well. And I also get their input on hosting a party and such. So that's a few of my best tips on how I book Facebook parties from my Facebook parties and keep my business running consistently.